FM News on point.
Take a look at the news. Police intends to restrict journalists who are not accredited by the Media Council from covering presidential candidates and other electoral processes. All the accredited journalists will be subject to verification, and the press badges issued to them will have security features. Police spokesperson Fred Nanga says effective 21st December, they will enforce the directive to get rid of imposters and political actors who disguise as media personnel.
We strongly believe that this will give a very clear distinction between genuine journalists and those that are ingenuine, and also help eliminate the propagation of rumors, disinformation, antagonistic discussions which are likely to incite violence, instances where opinions are biased, distorted, and unbalanced. Even challenges where you find that some of the journalists along these campaign trails are deliberately mobilized and don't perform their duties as expected.
Medical experts have warned the electorate against politicians who flout COVID-19 standard operating procedures during campaigns. Dr. Dennis Muhanji from Macquarie University says the pandemic has spread to communities, arguing that politicians who do not observe SOPs risk the lives of voters. Dr. Muhanji made the remarks while releasing study findings from the research that was conducted in refugee camps on the pandemic that indicated a decline in compliance levels since they live in congested places and most of them share masks.
Political leaders have focused more on their votes and forgotten about the safety of the populations. So it may not be possible to stop the elections at this point, but I think the political leaders should take responsibility and make sure that their voters are safe. People can only vote if they are alive, and the voters should also be on the lookout. They shouldn't elect political leaders who don't care about their safety.
6 employees of Centenary Bank have been remanded to Kitale and Kigo government prisons on charges of conspiracy to defraud the bank and unauthorized disclosure of bank information. The accused persons are Stephen Ziwa, a banking officer at Centenary Bank Bwaise branch, Nazio Doka, branch supervisor, Diana Musisi, Namabiru Bwaise branch assistant manager, Annette Nalomansi, banking officer in the same branch, and Oscar Mukombozi and Hassan Chintu Musoke, personal bankers at the Entebbe branch. The group, together with other employees of the bank and businessmen still at large, allegedly conspired to defraud money worth 152.8 million shillings, the property of Centenary Bank, from an account at Isinjiro branch in the names of Ignatius Begumisa Katetegire. Prosecution further alleges that the group, on different dates and times, having access to an electronic record of the said account in Centenary Bank, disclosed the said record to different people without authority. The group has denied the offence before Magistrate Gladys Kamasanyu, who's in return remanded them until December 22nd, when she will hear their bail application. In sports news, Wakisa Giants midfielder Gaddafi Wahab has promised an excellent performance when facing former side Ondo Paraka Football Club tomorrow in the Uganda Premier League. The midfield maestro spent 6.5 years with the Caterpillars before switching to the Purple Sharks last season in January. Wahab says though it will be an emotional encounter facing his childhood club, he's focused on helping his current club get maximum points. Meanwhile, Wakiso Giants head coach Douglas Pamoyana says all players are set to get 3 points from Aroa. Wakiso Giants won the last league encounter between the two sides, courtesy of Vianney Sekajigo's strike at the Kawaka Chabagu Stadium.
Not so bad record, but we want to get it better. We want to get on the right track as soon as possible, and tomorrow we want to try and get all 3 and start to build from there.
In other news, Google applications including YouTube, email, and documents have suffered a rare service outage with users unable to access many of the company's services. The outage started shortly before noon UK time, lasting more than half an hour before services were restored. Users around the world reported problems with Gmail, Google Drive, and Android Play Store, Maps, and more. Google's search engine, however, remained unaffected by the problems affecting its other services. The brief outage had a significant impact on the company's millions of users, many of whom rely on Google services for basic work apps such as email and calendars. Users of Google Docs could continue to work if they had synced documents offline but were unable to use any online features. The outage also affected Google connected smart devices such as home speakers, leading some users to complain on social media of being unable to switch off some lights in their homes. It also had a knock-on effect on other apps, with players of the smartphone game Pokemon Go, for example, reporting being unable to log in. Despite the widespread outage, Google's service dashboard initially showed no errors before switching to red status across all services. In entertainment news, Ugandan police say they have charged Nigerian singers Omar Lay and Thames, as well as Thames' manager, with negligently doing acts likely to spread an infectious disease. The three Nigerian nationals have been jointly charged with 4 other Ugandans. All 7 are to remain in custody until Wednesday. Fans reacted with concern when Omar Lay, real name Stanley Omar Didia, tweeted a short while ago, I'm in cuffs in Uganda right now with Thames. The pair had performed at an event in Kampala on Saturday that breached COVID-19 rules. Omar Lay tweeted that he just a singer trying to entertain, and called on Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs to intervene. The others in detention have not commented. Uganda's government has suspended social gatherings. That was the news.
XFM News on point.